Good afternoon. I'm going to go over the trades for this past week in this weekly recap that I usually do on Saturdays. Before I get into that, if you are not in the room, the Discord room, the link is in the bio of the Twitter and StockTwits, and you can also find it in the description of the video. So I would join. I think next week's going to be very volatile. I've just been catching up on the morning news, and more politicians in the White House are getting COVID-19. Players in the NFL are testing positive. I mean, sporting event seasons are at risk. The election's at risk. Right now, Biden doesn't have it, but I'm thinking if Trump has it and all these top White House officials have it, that more are going to end up having it. So what ends up happening when you have two candidates that are running for president in a month and a half both have tested positive for COVID? Maybe this fits the elections getting postponed. I don't know what's going to happen because we've never seen anything like this before. So I think that the market is going to freak out next week, especially if more bad news comes out. Now I know a stimulus bill is coming out, but that just keeps getting, hyped up and shutting down, and so I mean, if the market does take a massive dump, then I'm sure they'll pump the stimulus talks again just to keep it from falling, or the Fed will step in. I don't know. So it's going to be a crapshoot all week. So next week's going to be a very, very interesting week, and so. With that said, we'll get into the trades for the week that we played. You can go on Twitter, you can see the timestamps. You go on Discord, and you can see the past alerts. But Twitter, I actually post every day, mainly for the purpose so you can see the timestamps. When you look on Discord's past alerts, they just say, if you look back on Monday, it will say Monday. I won't actually say the time, the actual timestamp. Let me hover over that and see if it does. No. Well, yeah, you can see, past alerts, you can see the timestamps because I posted there too. Okay, so let's get started. So Monday I had, actually before, I ended up finishing the week 25 wins, 5 losses with an 83.33% win rate, which is, I've been in the high 80s for the last several weeks, well, a few weeks I should say. So 100%, 90%, 80%. Then I end up finishing the quarter like let's see, I end up finishing the month with 86.55%. Then I end up finishing the third quarter at 80.97%, which is 3 months. So I'm very, very consistent. So okay, enough with the statistics. Okay, Monday, we had the big gap up over the weekend, and it was a big gap up. So I had SPY puts at 937, 32 puts at 80 cents. Now I ended up grabbing it right here. It started to pop up, and I was not buying. I remember saying in the room, I'm not buying the breakout. If it breaks out, I'm not buying it. So when it broke below right here, the second 10-minute candle, I got in. So I grabbed the 332 puts at 80 cents, and they went to $1.14 just on this little thing that held the 37 EMA, and it popped up. So then I grabbed, let's see, BA gapped up. I grabbed BA calls at 952. Now I wasn't too confident in this because we had the big gap up, and when we have a big gap up, I like to at least have it come back down and close the gap or retest the previous day high, and it didn't do that. So when it had this somewhat pullback right here in the first 10-minute, and it didn't really, and it bounced, and obviously SPY bounced over here. So when it broke out over this 162.22 area is when I grabbed BA 180 calls at 80 cents, and they went from right here. They didn't really go up that much, 80 cents to $1.04. I mean, you think with the move it'd have a bigger run, but they were so far out of the money on Monday, it just didn't move as much as I hoped it would. So Then I end up grabbing SPX and SPY again. Now, the reason I do this is because SPX is very, very expensive. Unless it's like in the midday, you can get it a little cheaper. So I kind of like monitor the prices on SPX on expiration days. But anyways, I did grab SPY calls at 10:16. Well, I think it was right here, right about the same time I grabbed I grabbed BA calls at 9:52. Okay, I gotta go back to BA. Okay, I grabbed 10:16 BA. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Never mind. I was right. I just wanted to check to make sure because the BA's chart looked the same, but BA didn't pull back for a few candles. So once that dropped and popped, and this one pulled back. So yeah, that's why there's a difference in time. I was just trying to figure out if I said that wrong, but no, I did. This held back. But yeah, I did end up grabbing SPY 334 calls at 79 cents at 10:16, which was probably right here. I think that I ended up caving and just said, okay, I'm just gonna go. And I don't like buying the breakouts after a big gap up. It's so risky, and I just said screw it, and I did go from 79 cents to 143 right here because it was at the money, so they did pretty good. Then I end up grabbing SPX 333, actually 3320 puts at 11:57, which is probably right here. Yeah, right here. You get like this ascending wedge right here, which would normally look like a breakout, but when it came back down right in here, that's when I grabbed the 3320 puts at $1.40. Now they went from right here to right here. They only went from $1.40 to $1.60, just a small move, and it was trading in a very, very tight range all day. You have this big gap up, and usually when you have a big gap up, it either trades at a very tight range or it dumps. So and it was in a tight range, so you got in and out. Then I ended up getting, for my first loss for the week, I ended up grabbing 3340 puts at 222, which was right here. Now it couldn't break out, and then I had a sharp knife right here. Well, I shouldn't say sharp, but we had this red candle right there. I thought for sure we were going to get it right there, but no, it went sideways more, and it finally pulled back a little bit. I was looking for this right here to happen right here, and it didn't, because of this slight little chop at expiration date. It just destroyed the position. So that was the first loss of the week, was on that. I was looking for an end of the day dump. I mean, even this, I was looking for at least a substantial dump, at least down to the 3330s, and we didn't get it. So yeah. Then on Tuesday, I grabbed, let's see, Roku and Apple. Okay, Roku, 29th, okay, and Apple. Now I remember this Apple one. This Apple one was tricky. This one faked me out. Now, now I grabbed Apple calls, 117.50 calls at 99 cents at 9:35. Now what I was thinking was it gapped down a little bit. It stayed in this little area, and I was thinking if it got over this 115 area, it was going to pop. And it did for a real quick second, and it dumped. And right when it failed to break out and it couldn't get over this area, the 115 area, when it stopped me out. I mean, I really thought it was going to take off, and it didn't. It was a fake out, and I flip-flopped my position as soon as it broke down right here. So I knew if it was over this 115, it was going to pop, and if it was under this 114.50, that it was going to dump. But it started on opened here and pulled back just a tiny bit, then popped. And I was like, okay, I'll grab the calls, and then it just come back, and it went against me almost immediately. So I flip-flopped, and I jumped on the puts because it was in such a little tight area right here. I knew it was going to make a big move. I just didn't know which way. I was thinking up, but I was wrong about that. So the first one, the 117.50 calls at open, was a loss, so I got it out of them really quickly, and I flip-flopped to the other side. So I grabbed the 111.25 puts at 83 cents, and they went to 170 on Apple. So that was a good trade right there. So I'm glad that I did that. Okay, then we had Roku at, let's see, Roku 172.50 puts at 95 cents at 1024, which was right here, right when it bounced off VWAP. I mean, it started the pop and it sold off, and it bounced off the 200 EMA. Then it rejected the VWAP, and it started to come back down, and I ended up grabbing the Roku 172.50 puts at 95 cents, and they went to 114 on the VWAP rejection on that. Then I ended up doing I didn't really play that much on Tuesday. I think that just the Apple fake out kind of like ruined my day. So I just when things just don't work well, my mood changes, I just decided to dial it back. So I did that time. So I ended up grabbing SPY puts at 82 cents at 1034, which should be right here. Now, oh yeah, I remember this. I chased this because it started to go up and it sold off. I don't remember if that was a news event. I almost think it was. I don't remember what it was. Might have been the stimulus talks not going well, because that's been the theme all week long, is that when the market's red, they'll say that the stimulus talks are going well, then boom, they're not. So that's just been how it's been. But yeah, the knifed right here, I chased it. I grabbed the 330 puts at 82 cents, and they held and just dumped. So they went from 82 cents to 162. They went almost 100%. So a couple pennies short of 100% on that SPY right there. So so that Apple just kind of ruined my day, so I just wanted to get it over with. Then I had Apple 120, actually 111.25 puts at 92 cents. Now I took that on as an overnighter. Well, it started to, let's see what time I take it. I took it at 11:48 on the 29th, 11:48, right here. Where is it? Right here? Right in here. Oh yeah, because I remember it rejected the EMAs and went straight through the VWAP. So then it popped up, rejected again, and I stayed with it. And at the end of the day, it came back down and just stayed. So I thought, okay, it's in a good area. I get the 111.25 puts for a big gap down, or for at least a gap down and a morning sell-off. And I really thought it was going to sell off, but it did gap down, but it didn't sell off. It popped. So I ended up dumping those for a loss on Wednesday. So Apple just burned me twice this week. So yeah, right there was the one that burnt my first loss on Wednesday. So I mean, it gapped down and it started to look good. Then it started to come up to where it was support, which is now resistance. And I thought, okay, she's going to finally go, but then she just popped. So I had to get out. So that my overnight record is just terrible. I just don't know why. I get things so precise during the day, but overnight it's so hard to predict, and it just news and drama and other things like that. But news got me a couple of times this week, so we'll get into that when we get to Friday. So Thursday, Friday. But then the next one was, I had BA calls. Had 175 calls at 94 cents at 9:35. You know, had the same kind of look as Apple, and when it bursted up, you should say spiked up, and it held this area of 165, and I figured if it got above this this area at open that I would jump in calls. And BA is very, very tricky to trade because it's very disappointing. It likes to act like a cheating spouse. You just can't trust it, and you just want to get in and out because you don't know what it will do. And every time it has a strong move up, it gives all its gains back. The old BA used to make massive runs, and just this BA is a completely different animal. I've traded it so much, so I know how it trades. So it did pop up, and it did go from 94 to 110 on the 175 calls on that. Then I started to see this right here. So at 1049 is right here, push through VWAP. I grabbed the BA 162. I have it on my Twitter. It says 162.60 puts, but there was a typo. It was at 162.50 puts at 92 cents. And we got this little rejection right here. I mean, it does look like a flag, but this is BA. BA likes to give back all its gains or a good portion of them, and it did right there. So they went from 92 cents to 165 right here. And then I grabbed Roku and SPX. Yeah, BA, I've traded BA so much. It just loves to give back all its gains. It's just one of these days BA will be actually strong. Okay, get a 30th. Okay, so grabbed 180 puts on Roku at 213 on the 30th rate. 213, probably right here. Yeah, right in here. Now I grabbed the 180 puts at $1.20. So we get this like little descending triangle right here. It came down, it bounced, and it rejected. We tested this previous support, rejected VWAP, and when it started to break down through the moving averages is when I grabbed it. 180 puts at $1.20. They went to $1.70 right there on the 30th. And the last one on the day was 229 30th. Now SPY's just been going crazy. You get this like little double top, then like a fake out breakout right here. The SPY loves to do that, and it'll come back and make it look like a breakout. And these breakout traders have been getting clobbered this week because all these false breakouts, and obviously I got trapped and caught in one of them on Apple just the other day, so which I just talked about. But when I had this little fake out breakout here, I grabbed the 33.45 puts at $1.30, and they exploded. They went 500%. They went from $1.30 to $8.20 on this massive move down. So that was the move that I was looking for right here. I was expecting that to happen right here when I lost that one, but it didn't. I mean, it is what it is. So that was Wednesday, and let's see, Thursday, I had Apple and BA. On the 1st. Now I had, see, I started out with Apple puts 116.25 puts 88 cents. Now this was it had you can see right here, it's like a funnel going in it, and they had the end of the day sell off on Wednesday. Then it started to gap up, and then right in here, just this level right here in the 117.40 area. I knew if it broke that it'd probably come back down, but it filled the gap. It kind of almost did. Where was it? Would it close right here? Yeah, no, it didn't quite, but I was watching this little choppy action right here, and I was thinking it gets below this 117.35, I'm going to grab puts, and that's what I did. I ended up grabbing the 116.25 puts at 88 cents, and then went to $1.47 in that little push right there. Then I ended up grabbing, let's see, I thought I had BA up, but I didn't apparently. Let me just bring this one. Okay, I had BA calls at 9:40, which was right here. Got the previous day's high, after hours high. So when it started to go right off the bat, I grabbed the calls right away. So 177.50 calls at $1.03 to $1.10. I must have chased it up here because it was very. Yeah, I think I did. Timestamp is 9:40, so I probably grabbed it right here. I chased it, and it started to break out, and it started to show weakness, and I just got out really, really quick. And BA is going to make one of those big moves, and it's just a matter of when. I think it did kind of Friday when it had that. Pelosi said something about bailing out the airlines, but we'll get into that when we get to there. SPY and Lululemon. Let's see. Where is the first? Right here. Now Lulu, I've been watching, and SPY I grabbed at. I have to look on the actual alert because for some reason on my Twitter it's starting to blend the calls again, even though they're set at different times, and I hate that. Okay, I grabbed the 333 puts at 9:46 on the first. Right, right here. As you can see, it gapped up, and it had this little area. It couldn't break out over this 938, so it started to try to, but I was already in BA and Apple, so my mind was somewhere else. But when it did break down right in here, I did grab the 333 puts at $1.04, and they went to $1.76 right there in that little push. So that was a nice little $1.04 to $1.76 drop on SPY, holding the 200 EMA, and that's usually where I start looking. As you can see, the day before it held it to 200 EMA right there. So that 200 EMA is just money. You see it bouncing off that or rejecting it. That's a good area to start taking a trade. So then I ended up grabbing Lulu 347 calls at 10:05, which would be right here on this breakout. Now Lulu, it's been very, very tricky. It's in the gap area. It went above the let's see, I'll show you on the daily. Yeah, right in here. That was the day it was inside the gap. The gap is right here at 335. It got inside in the gap area, so it's open air. It's not really much resistance, so that's why I grabbed that, because I'm pretty I like to know where it is within the gap. So when it did get over this area of the 336.25 and it started breaking out, I grabbed the 347.50 calls, thinking it was going to fill the gap, and it really didn't, because I think the gap fills like at 350 or something like that. So it didn't really come close, but they did go from 85 cents to 211 on that push. On that, so I still think that will fill the gap, so I'll have to watch Lululemon next week. The last trade, I did end up finishing Thursday 5-0, so the last trade on Thursday was SPY puts at 2 o'clock. So where are we? SPY at 2 o'clock, right here. Yep. Something happened right here, and I chased it. I mean, you get this little, it's consolidating under VWAP or on VWAP through VWAP. It's like bouncing in and out of VWAP right here. And so when it broke down right in here, something happened and pushed it to the 200 EMA. And when it started to come back up, that's when I ended up grabbing it. And they went from 86 cents to $1.09 right there on the on Thursday, because it was a non-expiration day. The premium prices were pretty expensive, so I had to go outside the money quite a bit. 331 puts are way down here, so they probably, if they weren't so expensive, I probably could have grabbed 336, and they probably would have almost doubled, so or close to doubled. But anyways, it is what it is. So Yeah, that was SPY right there. I mean, I think I grabbed it, chased it right to the 200 EMA. So I think there was something that happened right there. It might have been more stimulus uh, news or something. I don't remember. There was something that happened right there. Then Friday, I had I had a lot of trades Friday. Oh yeah, and the Thursday I took an overnighter. Now what was that? I took 340 calls at 95 cents. So at let's see, 305. So it was right here, 305, right in here somewhere. I grabbed the 340 calls to hold overnight, and I was thinking we were going to have a gap up, but we didn't. That's when the news dropped on right here is where the news dropped on Trump having COVID, testing positive for COVID. So the market took a dump. So I just didn't. That news just caught me off guard. No one knew about that unless you were close to the White House. Then that destroyed that position. So I ended up getting out on a lost most of it. So that did not fare well. So then I ended up trading. I traded a lot on Friday. So Tesla and SPY. Now with the big gap down, I was thinking we were going to get maybe a push, because I had like a little descending wedge right here on the in pre-market. So I thought, if it got below this 330 area, that we would get puts and we'd flush, and we didn't. It started to come back up, so I ended up grabbing 334 calls at $1.15 right when it got like right up in here. So I mean, every time there's a big gap down, there's a quick recovery, and every time there's a big pop, usually there's some kind of like a rejection or something. So but Trump having COVID-19, I mean, I thought the market would at least freak out a little more. I mean, it did pre-market, or overnight, I should say. The futures did, but it kind of held and kept holding, and then it was having this bearish pattern right here, and then I thought it was going to go down more, but it didn't. It decided to pop. I've been trading SPY for so long. I'm used to these rope-a-dope kind of trading. So I grabbed the 334 calls at 115. They went to 253 right here. Then I ended up grabbing Tesla 445 calls. Now I grabbed that at let's see, they blended again, so I have to look on Twitter, Discord, 934. Yeah, so I came back, touched the. I mean, obviously, you had a big gap down because of Trump. Then when it opened up, it came down and tested the RCT trend line, and it popped back up. Now I did grab Tesla right away too. 445 calls at $1.67 on that push up, and they went to 250, 380. 385, so 167 to 385 on this little push right here. So when I saw SPY was popping and it got over these little area, I was gonna grab it. So that was a good move. I loved it buying Tesla. I just wish that it was cheaper. I would trade it all the time instead of just on Thursdays and Fridays. But I'm not gonna buy $100 out of the money. It's stupid. Then I end up having BA. Let's see, BA. I had BA 162.50 puts at $1.14 at 952. I traded a lot. Let's see, grabbed it right here. I was waiting for it to reject the 200 EMA, but sometimes it doesn't always get there, and this was like the previous day's lows. So when I got up to this area and it started to reject, that's when I grabbed the BA 150, actually 162.50, puts at $1.14, and they ended up going to $1.35 right here. I thought it was going to make a bigger move down, but it just didn't, and it went sideways a little bit. And when it went sideways, it premiums were just getting wrecked. So right in this little drop right here, and it popped up and down. I mean, I know that's like 20 minutes, but that's all it takes on a Friday, and it just destroyed the premium. So it did, I did end up getting out positive. So they ended up going from 114 to 135 right there. But I was expecting a bigger drop. I thought it'd actually go and retest the pre-market lows, but it didn't. Then I ended up grabbing Roku and Disney. Okay. Roku and Disney. Now I ended up grabbing Roku puts at 197.50 at 65 cents at what time? 10:20, which should be right about right here, right in here. As you can see right there, you get the aftermarket highs, and when it came up there, it started to show a little weakness. I grabbed the puts, and they went from 65 cents to 97 cents just in that little drop right there. So that was a smooth little run. I thought it'd be a bigger drop, but it wasn't. Then I ended up grabbing Disney at 1037. Now I remember this, it was right at VWAP. I grabbed it right in here, and those Disneys went from 55 cents to 68 cents on that little push to VWAP. It was the follow through on the downside was very limited. So I do remember calling in the room. I didn't alert it that I saw when I come up here there was a bearish divergence. See, it's making a higher high, and the histogram is making a lower low. And I know someone in the grabbed this right here, and it did really well on that. So congrats to them. The next one was let's see, Baba, SPY, and Tesla. Okay, Baba. SPY. Okay. Now Baba, I had 287 puts. 287.50 puts at 55 cents, and I had them. Oh yeah, I had it right here. It was descending triangle right here, right through the previous day's close on VWAP. So they went from, let's see, 55 cents to $1.60. So they went 150% just on this little drop right here. I mean, anytime that I see like a descending triangle on VWAP, the good probability that it's going to push through and drop. So I did like that. As soon as I saw it, I grabbed it and alerted it right away. Then I ended up grabbing SPY 333 puts at $1 at 11.35, which was probably right here. Yeah, right in here. As you can see, you get a double top. It started to reject. I grabbed the 333 puts right there. They went from $1 to $2.07 on this little push down. So that was a good move. Then I ended up having Tesla and BA. How many times did I play Tesla yesterday? 3 times. Wow. Yesterday just seems like a blur. Okay, so I had Tesla and BA. Now BA, the final BA trade caught me. I got caught in a news event, so just going based on the times. We'll go through the times first. So let's see, another one that blended. Tesla. I had Tesla 433 calls at 215 at 1132, which I think was right here. Yep. As you can see, this little area right here, it likes to, bounce down, popped up, rejected, popped up, so held it, then rejected. So this little area I liked. So I thought when we saw this big red candle came into this area, I was going to have another big push, but it wasn't. It was a very small push, but those 433 calls went from 215 to 264. I was looking for a bigger pop. I was selling. I always sell into the strength and reduce risk, and just in case something happens, and I'm glad I did because it kind of like dumped right there. Then I ended up grabbing BA 162.50 puts at 1204, which was right here, right in this candle, and it was that's when the news dropped with Pelosi saying they're about bailing out airlines or something to do with airlines and stuff like that. So I saw this BA being BA, just likes to not get strength in it. It just looked like it was falling apart right here. It had that big red candle, grabbed it right here, and it started to work out, and then news dropped, and boom. So I was like, whatever. And another news event that killed the play. So I had 2 losses, which my SPY overnight because it trumps COVID and the BA thing. So it happens. It's part of trading. You got to deal with it. Then the last trade of the day was Tesla, 431 calls at 1207, which was right here at the pre-market lows on the bounce up. Now they went from 166 to 294. So, and I just called it a day. I didn't realize until at that point in the time, someone pointed out in the room that the most alerts I've ever called in a day, and I realized I had like 10 for the day. So I was like, okay, I'll dial it back. I'll stop it. Usually when things start looking good, and especially if it's a Friday. If it's a Friday, there's no limits to it. I'll just keep going and keep going. As long as I'm making solid calls and they're winning, and I'll keep going as long as the setups are there and the things I like. So Friday was very active. So that's why I trade a lot. I mean, I could have kept going. There's some things I saw, but I had to shut myself off. I had to say, okay, enough is enough. So I did that. And so that was the weekly recap on what happened. The week was good for the most part. I mean, I just a couple of losses, just unforeseen news events, and my overnighters. I don't know why my overnighters. I cannot nail my overnighters, and that's mainly why I don't swing unless it's a spread and I'm going to hold for a long time. But overnighters just for some reason just get me every time. So I try to stay away from them. So hopefully that's helped you understand why I took what I did and where. On Fridays, as you can see with Tesla, I bought right here, then I bought here. When I bought the first time, I had the 445 calls, and when this drop came, I grabbed ended up grabbing the 433s. On Fridays, you gotta adjust. You gotta adjust the strikes. You don't want to average down and let theta just destroy you. It's instead of averaging down, just take your loss or whatever. And get to at the money strike. On Fridays are very tricky. You have to adjust. So that's how you trade them. And that is going to do it for the recap video. Thanks for watching.